Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm testing out 3 products that made me wonder, who needs these things? An over-engineered $120 towel dispenser, a $70 wine cork, and this bizarre 3-in-1 cup. Are any of these actually useful, or are they just solutions looking for a problem? Let's find out in today's video, starting with the $120 towel dispenser. Let's take a look at the LiveFull hot towel warmer, which has the official name of LiveFull Instant Heating Machine for Disposable Face Towels. Very catchy name there. All right, here it is. Not much to it. You have the unit itself, 20 towels here, and some instructions. But they claim you can get spa quality comfort with moist, warm towels in just 5 seconds. One-touch dispensing. The towels come out at 131 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 55 C. Supposedly there are voice notifications that guide you through the process. Includes the towel machine and 20 compressed towels. I'll have to look up and see how much the replacement for these cost. Now, people online who like this, they say it's fast, doesn't take up much space. They say it's great for makeup removal or shaving. Now, those who didn't like it, some people say they got defective units. The instructions are not good. They say it tends to dispense dry towels or doesn't get hot. Now, someone on Amazon said to flip it over before opening. I wasn't sure if they meant flipping over the towel or flipping over the entire unit. I'm gonna have to figure that out. But I'm going to read these over and then we will get started. All right, I've read over these instructions and I'm about ready to get started. But one quick note, these instructions aren't very good. And the reason being is, first up it says to, step 1, it says to add the appropriate amount of water. What's appropriate? I had to go dig around the back for the capacity. I'm assuming that's appropriate, but I don't even know. Number 2, it says to add these towels in there, and it shows the base. On the instructions, it shows the base. On their instructional video, they remove the base. On one of their videos, they press it down, the other one, they turn it. And supposedly after you add the towels, the red light goes off, and then step 3, plug it in. How was the red light on if it wasn't plugged in? So I think what I'm gonna do after watching way too many of their videos is I'm gonna plug it in first, add about 400 milliliters of water, and then see what happens. Plugging it in.
Please wait.
Oh, it said please wait. Back here is a water chamber. All right, that was about 400 milliliters of water, so they're right about that at least. Well, they say to take off this plastic wrap here, and then remove this. And they left the plastic wrap on though. It's also interesting that the towels have an expiration date. I don't know how compressed towels would expire. I mean, I guess they could. So now I'm supposed to stick it down in there. They say press to make sure it's in place. Okay, it is pressed. I just feel like something's gonna go wrong, so I'm trying to be extra careful here. It says the red light indicator will go out. If that's the red light indicator, it did not go out. Now, step 3, I did steps 1 and 2, which was add the water, add the towels. Then it says, after it initializes, it's gonna ask for the water and the towels. I already added them. Unplug it, I'm already having a troubleshoot. It hasn't even started yet. I'm just gonna unplug it and plug it back in.
Please add towels.
It says, please add towels. Oh no. I went to take the towels out and they kind of fell out of there. But then after they fell out of there, this started warming up. Oh, so now the red light indicator went off. And I hear faintly some like gurgling sounds in there. When the working indicator light turns white, if you can see, it's kind of faint, that is white. It was red originally, now it's white. It means it's ready to make hot towels. Touch and short press the function key to start making hot towel. The tray towel is fully expanded. The voice prompts, please use to enjoy the hot towel. And they also say, don't remove it until it says please use. Here we go.
Please wait.
Oh, wow.
Please use.
Whoa, that was quick. But did it work? Oh, this is warm. This side's a little bit on the, let me flip it over a little bit. Someone on Amazon said to flip it over before you use it to get a little moisture in there. I mean, the dispensing was kind of cool, and this is hot, but look, it's not, this part right here, it's not completely uncompressed. It's scented. It's not a bad scent, and the heat dissipated quickly. It's already cool. I didn't even have a chance to put it on my face yet. But do I want to smell like that? It has a kind of a perfume scent to it. What about the guys out there that don't want to smell like that? I guess it's not marketed to men anyways, you know, but first use, kind of interesting. So that was about a full minute before it was ready again. What I want to do is I'm gonna get my thermal imager out. I'm gonna check the temperature as it comes out of there and see how hot it really is. They say it heats the water up to 130 degrees Fahrenheit, 55 Celsius. Let's see about that. Now, as you can see right there at the opening where the steam comes out, it is showing approximately 96 degrees. Look right there, that's the hottest temperature showing on this screen. So let's run this out of there one more time and see what happens.
Please wait. Please use.
130, okay, I saw a quick 138. Look how the top right there, though, is not as hot. How if I flip this over? Try to get that a little bit warmer there. So the person on Amazon said flip it over first. This part down here stays a little bit on the warm side because it's got access to that water. If you flip it over, the bottom won't come out hard like that. This one actually worked better. Slightly scented, slightly warm. They were saying that the first one sometimes doesn't come out perfectly. It didn't, but the second one actually came out nicely. So we're 1 for 1, I would say. Was the first one a failure? I think it was kind of a semi-failure. Let's try one more time. I'm gonna do a third one now. I'm also gonna check the thermal imager once again. Thermal imager showing that bottom part now at 112. It's gotten warmer. Looking right here, that's the highest reading on the screen. Okay, the red light has just went off, so let's go back to one more towel.
Please wait.
That is
Use.
showing in 125. Let's flip it over. 120. Now I'm seeing 134 up there. They said 134 Fahrenheit. I was getting 134, so it's accurate. When you pull the towel out of there and unfurl it, it's about 120 degrees. But it's pretty warm. You know, the scent is getting, the more I smell it, the less I like it. And the less I think I'd want to smell like that. It's kind of like one of those perfume scents that at first smells good, and then the more you smell it, the more you dislike it. I don't think I'd want to smell like that. Okay, clean my table with it here. Look at the towel itself. The towel measures, you get 9.5 this way, 10 that way, so roughly 9.5 to 10 square inches. The quality actually looks pretty good. I was wondering how it was going to be, but you know, I've had compressed towels before that are usually pretty thin. These are actually, they're kind of nice. They're a quilted pattern to them, and they feel pretty thick. I'm sure I can tear them, and let's see. I can tear them, they're not indestructible, nor are they advertised to be. I think the quality is pretty good, probably better than I would expect for a compressed towel, so give them credit for that one. But one more thing about the scent is, you know, whenever you rely on any scented product that someone else decides they like the scent for, that doesn't mean you're gonna agree with it. Anyone who sat on an airplane near someone with too much perfume or cologne on knows that not everybody has the same idea what a good scent is. It's faint, but I don't think I'd wanna smell like that. Now, supposedly if you let it sit for more than 5 minutes, it goes into a standby mode and basically has to warm up the water again. I've noticed that even just letting it sit for a couple minutes, it starts cooling off and has to warm up. The other thing I noticed that even after it says please use, it's still actually hydrating the towel, so you have to wait a little bit longer than it says. Let's try another one and take a closer look at how the towel hydrates.
Please wait. Please use.
See, it's still going. Still going. Now it's probably done. All right, so I let it sit for a while so it's cooled down to a room temperature. As you can see, it says 23°C here. I've also got my stopwatch here as well. I'm gonna see how long it takes from going from room temperature up to delivering a towel. Here we go, pressing both buttons at the same time.
Please wait.
It's run fairly quickly. We're at 20 seconds now. 30 seconds, almost there. There we go. So when the unit is in a warm state, it dispenses the towel pretty quickly. But when it's in a cold state, room temperature, it takes 30 to 35 seconds. Maybe not a big deal, but now we know. So my final thoughts on the towel dispenser are that it does work as advertised. It delivers a hot towel in 30 seconds from a cool state, 5 seconds from a hot state. So the dramatic looking video they show online is accurate. The cons would be the instructions aren't very good. The price is outrageous. The refills start at 20 bucks for a 60 pack, which makes that 33 cents a piece. There's also a faint scent that I'm not sure everybody would like. I looked it up, and on the website they described that scent as light green tea, just in case you're wondering. Overall though, despite the cost and some of the limitations, it does do what the advertising claims state. Next up is a product I saw advertising online. It is this $70 wine cork that chills as you pour. Let's see how my test went. This is the Cold Cork version 2. I paid 70 bucks for this direct from the official website after seeing it advertising online. Instructions and these two pieces right here. Now they claim that you can chill your spirits 20 degrees in 20 seconds without ice or diluting your beverage. They say it can chill wine or any other spirit of choice. Just store it in the freezer, attach it to the neck of your bottle, and pour. They say it preserves taste, no electricity needed, non-toxic. They say it's also not for use with carbonated beverages. Now those online who liked it, they said it does reduce the temperature, it doesn't dilute the beverage, and it has a small footprint, also works quickly. Now those who didn't like it, they said the cleanup is a bit of a pain. liquid can get trapped inside here. They also say it has to remain frozen to be useful. Also overpriced. One thing that was kind of funny, in the ad it showed a person who forgot to chill their wine, so they pulled this out. But couldn't you forget to chill this too? Anyways, I'm going to read these over, toss this in the freezer, and then we'll get started. I'm about ready to pour some wine now. Look at the instructions here. The first thing I was supposed to do is I was supposed to remove this from the cork itself, because this does not go in the freezer, so that's been sitting out overnight. Once I pull it out, we're supposed to align this with a notch on the cork itself. And there's a hole right here where you can place your finger on it for flow control. When I was looking over the instructions here, one thing I did notice is that it says wait a few minutes between pours. And the website also says that the performance decreases with each pour. They say the first glass will get you about 20 degrees difference, the last glass about 10. But on the same page, they say it will lower the temperature of an entire bottle of wine in 2 minutes. I'll have to try that tomorrow. So for today, I'm gonna pour 4 glasses of wine. I'll try some with and without waiting first to see if that makes much of a difference. Now before I pull the cork out, let me pour a controlled glass of wine. I have a room temperature bottle of wine. Let's see what that's measuring out at. I've got some cheapo white wine here. This is measuring 75 degrees, which is what it is in this room. I'll move this off to the side here. Now let's go grab the cork. All right, here it is, nice and cold. There's a tiny notch right there that has to line up with this tiny notch right here. That's a pretty big cork. The cork is almost the size of the bottle itself. That's pretty big. Now let's pull another glass out here. Now for the big test. Once again, there is a hole here I can place my finger over if I want to adjust the flow. It's very icy on this side of the cork, so it's very cold. Next step, place a finger over the vent in the cork. Tip to a steep angle and then remove the finger. Steep angle, removing the finger, and nothing. If bubbles aren't seen entering the bottle, tip to a steeper angle and give the bottle a gentle shake. Steeper angle, give it a shake. Oh, I hear something. I see some bubbles going in there. There we go, there we go. All right. It's a much slower pour, but it has to cool off during the process, so I guess that's going to be okay. All right, stop there. Taking the temperature. Oh, 56 degrees. Comparing them side by side, I see a 55 and a 75. 20 degrees exactly. I'm not used to advertising being that precise, but they said 20 degrees, it's 20 degrees. Now they said to let it wait a few minutes between pours. I'm gonna go 3 minutes. In 3 minutes, I'm gonna come back and pour another glass, but this time I'm gonna pour 2 in a row and see what the difference is there. First glass, exactly 20 degrees. Room temperature. Nice and chilled. That worked. We're at 3 minutes. Let's try the next glass now. Covering the vent hole, tipping to a steep angle, and releasing. Once again, it's not coming out. Steeper angle and giving it a shake. There we go. You can also cut off the flow by just pressing your finger over that hole. Temperature check, about 61 degrees. So it's still pretty cold, but a few degrees warmer than the first time I poured it. Let's go right into another one now. I'm out of wine glasses, so I'm using a beer glass. Hopefully that doesn't offend anybody. Here we go, back to back. Covering the hole, tipping it. Releasing. Covering the hole again. This one's showing 66 degrees. I'm gonna go 3 more minutes and I'm gonna see if we can get another cool glass out of it. It's definitely going up as we pour, so 3 more minutes, 1 more glass. We are at 3 minutes. Try this one more time. Covering the hole with my finger, tipping it at a steep angle, releasing. There we go. I've noticed I've had to do a shake on a couple of these, so it seems like that was a good instruction to include. All right, this is almost that entire bottle now. 66 degrees. They said the last glass would be about 10 degrees cooler, which that's 9 degrees cooler, so they're pretty close on that. All the numbers they gave were pretty accurate, so I give them credit for that. Next thing I'm supposed to do is remove the cork. Now we're supposed to take this tool, place it on the cork itself, and flush out all the remaining liquid. Pump with force at least 10 times. See if any liquid comes out of here. I'll keep going, that was 10. I did get a little bit of liquid out of there, so that was probably a good thing to do. So to clean this, you're supposed to remove the cork and rinse it. Then I'm supposed to thaw this for 3 hours, run warm water through it, invert it for 3 hours and to drain the coil. And then pump 10 more times. And then I guess I can refreeze it for tomorrow. So I'll do all that and come back tomorrow for our next test. Now for my next test, they say they can cool an entire bottle of wine in 2 minutes. It should be easy to test out. So I'll test out not only how long it takes to cool an entire bottle, but by how much. My guess is that if it's 20 degrees for the first glass and 10 for the last, it should average about 15 degrees, but we shall see. Let's take a temperature of this wine here before I pour it out. 75 degrees. So if I had to guess, it's gonna be around 60 for the entire bottle. I'm gonna pour the entire thing in here, swirl it around, and pour it into a glass. That's probably the most real world test I can think of for it. And here we go. By the way, I did clean it off last night, which I will discuss more in my pros and cons a little bit later. Attaching the cork itself, aligning the notches. Are the notches aligned? All right, adding the cork to the bottle. I'll bring my stopwatch over here and try to time this as best I can. All right, hitting the stopwatch. Placing a finger over the vent, tipping it to a steep angle, releasing the vent, and I hear it going. Here it comes. There we go. Now we wait. All right, stop the stopwatch. That was 1:43. Now let's give this a little swirl. Try to get the temperature kind of even throughout here. Pour into a glass. Now let's take the temperature. The big reveal. This is it. Comes down to this. And we have 68 degrees. It's interesting. It didn't chill it as much as I expected it to. Yesterday's results were 9 to 20 degrees. Here I got 7 for an entire bottle, so I don't know. Maybe it's just less efficient when the more liquid you pour through there. I don't know. I mean, it's chilled. It's just not chilled as much as I expected. I mean, I think 68 degrees is just a hair above where I'd probably normally chill it anyway. So on the other hand, yesterday per glass, it seemed better. What if I stick this thermometer in here, if I can get any other readings? I mean, I'm getting a 67, 68. That's what it is. We got a 7-degree difference, which I think that's going to depend on the user if that's good enough or not. I think yesterday's results were better. Per glass seems better than the entire bottle, so now we know. But with that, I think it's about time to list some pros and cons. Now, as far as the pros and cons go, the biggest pro is that it worked right out of the gate as advertised. They claimed a 20-degree cooling, which is exactly what I got on the first glass. The cons would be the benefit doesn't really last very long. The more you pour, the warmer it gets. And the entire cleaning process can take up to several hours. Most of that while it's thawing out or drying out. And of course, there's the cost. But overall, I think if you have a few friends over and you didn't chill your wine first, this would definitely do the trick. If you had a lot of people over, if you have a party, I don't think it's going to keep up. You might need multiple units for that, and at 70 bucks a pop, that's a lot. Let's wrap things up with the bizarre 3-in-1 WesCup. This is the WesCup. I paid $14.88 for this. Currently has a 4.4 star rating on Amazon among a whopping 43 reviews. They claim that it's a reusable 24-ounce cup divided into 3 separate 8-ounce compartments. Right there. Each section has its own straw. It can be used with hot or cold drinks. Special lid prevents the mixing of beverages. That looks like it should work. They say it's dishwasher safe and BPA free. Now, those online who said they like it, they say it's great for sharing a drink with your kid in the same cup. Ideal for going from things like coffee to soda to water, or switching back and forth between 2 different drinks. People say it's sturdy and good quality. Now, those who didn't like it, some people said it's not insulated. Doesn't keep drinks cold or hot. Someone said it's easy to poke yourself in the face with the straw you're not using. My initial thoughts are, does this fit in a cup holder in the car? And is 8 ounces enough per compartment? Is it just a novelty item or is it actually useful? I'm gonna read these over, wash this off, and then we're gonna find out. All right, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. I gotta run some errands before it gets too hot here. But when I washed this off last night, I made an observation here. Now at first it just looks like a cup with a divider here, but if you turn over this way, you can tell each compartment is completely detached. They are not touching whatsoever. There is a gap between all the compartments, so that should keep the temperature separate. Now, it's not insulated. It's not going to keep them cold, but it should keep them from affecting each other because they are not actually touching. So with that in mind, I've got 3 different drinks to take with me on my errands today. 1 hot and 2 cold. Let's load it up. I've got ice in 2 of the compartments. We'll add some clear sparkling water onto 1 compartment. Some flavored sparkling water into the other compartment. Some coffee with some creamer. I put it in here so I can pour it more easily. The coffee's 135. The water about 100 degrees cooler. Now this lid completely covers each divider, so it should keep them separate. You would think it would snap, but it didn't really snap. Now this is not watertight. There is some space here, but it's kind of weird. I feel cold on one side and hot on the other. That's interesting. Anyways, I gotta head out for some errands. So I'm gonna be nice and hydrated with my caffeine and my water today. So we'll see how it goes. Someone had asked online if these fit in the car cup holder. Well, they do mine. It does fit fine, and it is tapered on the bottom. It's tapered, so it should fit most car cup holders. So in case you're wondering, now you know. It's a little after 7 a.m. Current temperature, 93 degrees. I realize I haven't even sipped out of it yet. Let me give it a sip and see how it works. So I was wondering if these straws are going to be in the way, because it looks like candles on a birthday cake or something. I'm going to go around the circle and see if I have any observations. My first observation is it's kind of weird to drink all those together. But right now, I mean, there's still ice in the two cold sides, and the hot coffee is still hot, and they really aren't touching at all. I mean, I'm looking at it, there really is a separation all the way up to the very top. So unless you fill it to the point where it's almost overflowing, these compartments are completely separate, which is kind of genius, actually. I thought it was just going to be a cup with like a three-way divider in there. No, they went to the next level and made it 3 completely non-touching compartments, which is, and I also think they stack as well. I don't usually walk with my drink in my hand, but I will today, because I'll think about it as I'm using it and walking. So let's head out there for a quick walk. Which flavor do I want right now? It is kind of nice having a choice. Do I want some hot coffee? Do I want some water? Sparkling water? I already kind of like the idea of having that kind of choice. Now, there's not a lot of each one of those in this cup, but just having the choice is kind of nice. There's a bunch of kids over there exercising. It's 7 o'clock in the morning and school's not even back yet. When I was a kid, I wouldn't get up at 7 o'clock in the morning in the summertime. I'm trying to look for any potential cons here. The lid is pretty secure, although it doesn't snap into place, so I always kind of feel like maybe it's going to come off. Every time I picked it up, I feel like I don't think it's as loose. It feels looser than it really is, but so far I'm only finding really minor issues with this. It's actually cool when you're walking to just like randomly take a sip of a straw without looking, and it's almost like drink roulette. Let me see, close my eyes. Sparkling water. Close my eyes again. Hot coffee. And it's still hot. I decided to focus on my coffee because I want to drink that first. But I was thinking, there is certainly a novelty aspect of this. It feels like a novelty item. But on the other hand, when I was a single father with 2 little kids, and I'd go out, I always have all their stuff with me. If we were going to go to a park, they each want their own drink. But with this, we could have each had our own drink, our own straw color, no backwash. We could have whatever we wanted, all within the same cup. It borders on novelty, but I certainly think there's some potential uses for it. I was also thinking about when I was working in an office, which I haven't done in a long time. You could have coffee in the morning, some water later, all in one cup. You could also double up. You could have 2 parts energy drink, 1 part water. So, the possibilities are kind of limitless as far as that goes. Some people will have absolutely no use for it, but others will think it's awesome. So I got some stuff to do this morning before it gets too hot. See, I just picked it up, and that lid feels it is loose. You gotta be careful with the lid. I feel like it snapped in place, but it always feels like it's gonna come off. But I gotta head out for a while. I got all my drinks with me, so I'm gonna be well hydrated, well amped up on caffeine, and later on I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, as far as pros and cons for this go, the pro is that it does keep the drinks separate from each other. They're not even sharing a surface, so they are completely detached. It's well made, it's dishwasher safe, and the price is reasonable. The cons are that it seems like either a novelty item or a niche item. You can't really hold more than 8 ounces per compartment, and the lid never seemed to stay on perfectly. But overall, I kind of like this one. It's kind of fun. It could be useful, it's not horribly overpriced, and it's cleverly engineered. But that's all I've got. If you've used any of these products, tell me what you think in the comments below. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.